for the PowerPoint. Can I go to So the chapter 4 is business problem and data science solutions. So mainly this chapter is talk about like business analytics and also the process of business analytics. So yeah, so this chapter is mainly focused on that. And also I would like to start with the very end of the slide is yep, it probably this one. So the overview of this course is like I divided to two parts. Is the first one is method. Method I would in this course I will combine with the statistics and management science. That is the things about the business analytics. Actually, for a statistic part, you have to study about the data analysis in business. So mainly, you will focus on this kind of things. I already posted on the Google Classroom. You can download it anyway. So the first one in the first part is the data analysis that you may already can do it in Excel. For example, the description statistic that it means you have to find average, have to find the variance, have to find the standard deviation, something like that. Or you have to do like you can find the distribution of the data is something like that. So the inference, I will skip that because it's like actually it's not that important for the business thing because it's just like the confidence interval or like hypothesis testing as you already study in the first year. So some kinds of statistical analysis. You remember the inference, right? Like a confidence interval estimation, the point estimation, confidence interval estimation. You remember? Hypothesis testing, testing about means, variance, and proportion. And if you have two populations, you have to find a confidence interval about the difference of means, the ratios of variance. You can remember that kind is the thing that kind is called inference. Yep. And relationship, it means regressions. So you have variable x and variable y. You have to find a relation. So that one is some kind of data analysis. And the second one is decision making. So this is the optimization that, but it's not that hard as you study with Ajahn Vikanda. So it's just like basic one. It's not that hard. So you have like for the optimization, you may have like a problem, and then you use a spreadsheet in Excel, and then you just like calculate by using the Excels. Yeah. So the most important thing that you have to clarify the problem, that what do you want from the problem. Yep. And also the second one is decision analysis with uncertainty. If I remind you, so if I would like to go back to your statistical analysis tool that you already learned for the decision analysis, you remember? No? So yep, you may have to remind it first. Okay. The next one is sensitivity analysis. Sensitivity analysis, it means that when you have the model, like very good model, when you have like very good model, and you have to check it that if you change a little bit of variables in your model, the results can be like maybe like can get like a small standard error or not. If you build the model and then this model have create the good result with the very small standard error, but if you change a little bit in the model, you change like variables in the model, and then you calculate the model, then you have the result, and we would like to check that the standard error is still small or not small. Yeah, that one is called sensitivity. It means like checking the model if you change the variables in the model. And also with the uncertainty is measuring and modeling. Is have many techniques to measure and also have many techniques to modeling. Maybe you have to use like simulations, or you have to use a predictive model like time series. So this one is all about the cost, about the method that you may learn in this course. As I mentioned from the very first week of this course, you may have to study about. The first one is spreadsheet modeling, and the second one is decision making, simulation analysis, and optimization, regression, and time series. So many stuff, but all of them is included in this kind of fields. As I mentioned that from the first week that the program that I'm gonna use is use Excel and R in some part, but mostly I will use Excel. So the Excel you use the built-in feature, for example, some product if that you already learned from the before the midterm exam, that you have to bring it back and then use in the business problem. And then they have another add-ins which call solver and @rich and solver table. This one is for example, but I'm not sure that for your version you have to buy it or not. If something that you have to buy, I will not teach you because it's not important if you have to buy it for study. But actually for the solver, yep, you cannot, I mean, you don't have to buy it, so you can use it anyway. But others like, for example, @rich, solver table, maybe you have to buy it. Yep. So actually this chapter It's a lot of things that you have to read. Yeah, because it's 40 pages in the sheet, I think. You can read, and there are many examples. Yeah, it's 42. 42. If you look at the document, so the very large page, you will see like the grocery. Grocery is mean vocabulary that sometimes you may not know. For example, like strategic decision, tactical decision, operational decision. Some maybe you already know. Yeah, so this one, yeah, is very, and also I make it summary. So if you don't want to read all, just read the summary. Okay. So let's start with the chapter 4. Actually, for chapter 4, it mainly focused on that data mining that you may already know better than me because you already studied for data mining. Okay. Okay, so as I mentioned that an important principle of data science is data mining, which is the process involving the application of information technology, that is IT, such as evaluation the pattern from data um, or automate discovery. So this thing you have to use the data mining knowledge. But if other, so you have to use analyst knowledge about the business knowledge and common sense. Sometimes when you like solve the data or like solve the problem. Okay. Your eyes just look like what you are talking about. I'm a bit tired. Okay. So from the business problem to the data mining task, actually in the sheet, in the document, I give you an example of this one, Megatel Co Limited, which is like is a like a AAS in Thailand, but this one is like in the US, like True or like AAS in Thailand. So I mentioned that if you get a job in this company, and yeah, the company has problem with the major problem with the customer retention in their virus business. The problem is in the mid-Atlantic regions, 20% of cell phone customers leave when their contract expires. What does it mean? 20% of cell phone customers leave when their contract expires. So when you go to the AIS, you have to sign contract, right? If you not like use like a prepaid phone, it's called prepaid phone. If you sign the contract, the employee will tell you, the clerk will tell you that this promotion or this package, what date or what year is going to be end, right? So it's going to be expired. So this problem is tell you that 20% of cell phone customer will leave the contract after they expire. So actually, communication company in the US very battle, like very strategic. So they would not want to lose the customer. So what they're gonna do? So as your data analyst, so what you gonna do? Okay, so your tasks, you have to devise the precise step-by-step plan for how the data science team should use the data resource to solve the problem. So yeah, when you go to the work, you go to the real situation of the company, you just get the data and then you get just only problem and you have to solve it. As a data science analyst, you have to solve it anyway. So you have to, the first one, you have to plan it first, right? And then you have to collect your data and like maybe you do the research. You have to like read more books or other research. So what you're gonna do in case just only you are the data science analyst. So if you have this case, what you're gonna do? So you can see that I have questions already. What data you're gonna use? So what data? So behavior. Okay, and then so how do you use for the behavior? Okay, and then so actually this one terminology, it means like how to solve it. Okay, so this one they have one data analyst already solved this problem. The models is simplified representation for the Verity create to serve the purpose. This one is not the model that you have to set it. So the next one, he said the predictive model, model to predict. So this one you have to set the formula for estimating the unknown values of interest. It means the target. For this one, what kind of predict? So they predict the unknown value. Okay. So this one is kind of step. As a data scientist, you have to do that kind of the thing like this. So you have to think about the model. The first one, you have to think about the data. What kind of data do you use? And how you're gonna use it, okay? And then you have to set the goal. And then after that, you have to go with the model. You go with the model and then predictive model. What kind of the predictive model? And then you have to have the prediction value. And you have to do as an instance for or example. So this one they describe by the set of attributes that you already know, the attribute like fields or column in the database, right? Or the variables. Okay. And then model induction, creation the model from the data that you have, and then you training data. So this kind of step is the thing that you have to think about. So this one, for example, this one is some kind of the database that they correct the data. So this one's the name. The balance is the salary for the year. If you use the salary, it means per month. But if you use the balance, it means per year. The age, okay, the age is ayuk, and then employ or not employ. Employ การจ้างงาน is mean no is no งาน yes is มีงาน and then write off it means that one is target of attribute. The write off it means cancel or not cancel the contract. So the target attribute that you want, it means no, because you don't want the customer to cancel the contract after they expire. So it means the attribute that you want is mean no. Okay, for this one is what is the model? Actually, this one is create from the purpose. For example, maybe you can use from the model of the financial model. For example, the Black-Scholes models. This one is financial model, Black-Scholes models. It's very popular financial model anyway. And also you have to set for the data mining. You have to build the formula for predicting the probability of the customer that would like to cancel the contract after it's expired or not. So the formula you have to calculate or predict the probability that the customer will leave the contract or not. So this one, it can be used like classification models or class probability estimation models. Have you ever heard about this model before? The classification, you may heard it, right? The classification. Yep. So next one, you have to look back to your data. So it means like filter type. Is it numerics or not? Maybe like number, dates, or categorical data. Like maybe it should be like binary, like yes, no. Maybe text, like names, rating. That one you have to look at your data about the filter type of data. So the next one, you have to look back at the dimension of data. So this one, you have to just only one dimension is the defaults that is cancel after it expire or not. You have just only one dimension, because the thing that they want to know, the problem is cancel after expire or continue after expire. It's only one dimension. But if you have to find it two variables, that is two dimensions. If you have to find the three variables, that one is three dimensions. So this one is just only one dimension that you have to solve. So actually, when you have a problem, maybe from the data mining or something like that, the common thing that you have to think about, the first one, classifications or class probability estimation. For example, how likely this customer to respond to our campaign. If I am the customer, so I will like, okay, your campaign is good, or okay, no, your campaign is not good. You have to classify the customer, how they respond to your campaign to continue your contract. And the second one, the regressions, how much will she use the service? So this one, the regression, you will have like a number because it's how much, maybe like how much, it means money, maybe like how many months, you have to get the number. The third one, the similarity matching. So you have to find the customer similar to your best customer. So how about your best customer? Means they sign the contract again, and then after that, maybe like sign the contract very large number, like 2 years or 3 years, not only 1 year. That one you fix it, that is the best customer. So you have to find a similarity from the customer to the best customer. And next one, you have to cluster, you have to group your customer, right? So this one is the best customer, the medium customer, and low customer. So you have to group your customer. And the next one, you have to find a co-occurrence grouping. It means that what item the customer commonly purchase together. Maybe if you go to True, maybe you just only want to use the number for the cell phone, but what the clerk will present you back, maybe, hey, how about your True, what is that? The True on the television, the True box, True privilege, something like that. So maybe they like present the promotion. Maybe they want to sell more. So that one, you have to find the item that each customer purchase together. Do you understand? ถ้าตัวเนี้ยถ้าครูอธิบายเป็นไทยอะค่ะก็คืออย่างสมมติว่าเวลาเราไปที่ True ถูกไหมสมมติว่าเราซื้อสิ่งของเราต้องการซื้อแค่เบอร์โทรศัพท์เราต้องการใช้บริการแค่เซลโฟนถูกไหมแต่ว่าสิ่งที่เขาเสนอมาให้เราต่อที่เป็นโปรโมชั่นก็อาจจะบอกว่าเอ้ยซื้อบ็อกซ์ True ไหมไว้ดูหนังดูนู่นดูนี่หรือว่าอาจจะเป็นแพ็กเกจอินเทอร์เน็ตเพิ่มเติมไหมเนี้ยค่ะก็คืออันเนี้ยเขาก็จะพรีเซนต์มาก็จะดูว่าไอตัว co-occurrence เนี่ยค่ะอย่างสมมติว่าถ้า customer มา1 คนจะซื้อแบบเนี้ยเหมือนกันเนี่ยกี่คนเป็นต้นอันนี้ก็คือ co-occurrence occurrence ก็คือการเกิดการค้นพบ occur ก็คือการเกิดอันนั้น co ก็คือเกิดขึ้นร่วมกันค่ะแล้วก็เป็น grouping ดังนั้นก็คืออาจจะเป็นลักษณะที่ customer กลุ่มนี้ซื้อเหมือนกัน customer กลุ่มนี้ซื้อเหมือนกันดังนั้นเราอาจจะเดาได้ว่าอย่างเช่นถ้าเป็นลักษณะของปัญหาของ Mega Telco เนี่ยค่ะก็อาจจะมองได้ว่ากลุ่มนี้ที่เขาซื้อเหมือนกันเนี่ยค่ะเขาอาจจะไม่ต่อสัญญาต่อก็ได้ถ้ามันหมดอายุเป็นต้น And the next one, as Renuka mentioned before นะคะก็คือ behavior นะคะ behavior description ก็คือ what does the normal behavior look like ก็คือการพฤติกรรมอาจจะเป็นลักษณะของการพฤติกรรมการซื้อใช้สินค้าเช่นอาจจะมองว่าพฤติกรรมคนนี้อาจจะมองว่าเมื่อจบหมดอายุแล้วอาจจะอยากจะเปลี่ยนหรือว่าเป็นคนขี้เบื่ออย่างเงี้ยค่ะก็จะเป็นลักษณะของการพฤติกรรมโดยส่วนตัวซึ่ง actually this one is very hard to find because it's behavior. And the next one is data reduction. So maybe Jocelyn ถ้าแปลเป็นไทยก็คือถ้าสมมุติว่าเราต้องการเก็บข้อมูลหรือเราต้องการหาตัว variables ค่ะเมื่อกี้ที่อาจารย์บอกว่าถ้า1 variables ก็คือ1 dimension ถ้า2 variables คือ2 dimension บางทีเนี่ยค่ะก็คือเราอาจจะสามารถที่จะลดตัวข้อมูลลงมาได้ก็คือเป็นการลดตัว dimension มาเพื่อให้ได้ตอบโจทย์ให้มากที่สุดAnd the next one is link prediction. Is something like you maybe link together with your friends. Because, for example, I said since John and Jane has 2 friends, 2 Johns become Jane's friend. You may think about on the Facebook that I'm a friend with Afrapap, and then maybe she has another 2 friends, but I don't be a friend with them. Yeah. So this one is link prediction. Okay. And casual modeling. So why are my customer leaving? ก็จะเป็นลักษณะว่าเป็นคำถามมากกว่าว่าแล้วทำไม customer ถึง leave ตัว contract นะคะอันนี้ก็คือจะเป็นลักษณะของการที่ตัว data analyst have to think about นะแล้วก็ have to do all the things. Actually, you have to think all of them, like about the data. The first one, you have to think the data, and then you have to think about the model and predictive model. What kind of model do you have to use? What is the attribute that you want to predict? So the second one, what kind of you create a model and then you training data, and then after that you put the data inside, and then you have to do all the things that the data, what kind of data, numerics or categorical, and how many dimensions of the data. It means how many variables that you have to find a result. And then you have to look through this kind of questions. Okay. Okay, so the next one is all the things that you studied today, I think you already know about them, most of things, I guess. This one is supervised and unsupervised. So actually, what kind of data that call supervised? What kind of data you call supervised? No. So actually in this book, is, they call that if no specific target, it calls unsupervised. But if you have the specific targets or purpose, it calls supervised. Is that exactly the same as you studied before? Okay. So this one, so if you have like questions, do our customer naturally fall into the different group? Which group? No specific one. This one is called unsupervised. But if you change a little bit of your questions, can we find group of customers who have particularly high likelihood of canceling their service soon after contract expire? So they specific the group, right? So this one is called supervised. Maybe this one maybe makes you confused because you may know likelihood in another subject. Likelihood, this one, it means probability. It's the same word. อันบนก็คือบอกว่า customer fall into different group ก็คืออยู่ในกลุ่มที่แตกต่างกันไหมกับอีกอันนึงก็บอกว่าเราสามารถที่จะหากลุ่มของ customer ที่มีความน่าจะเป็นสูงที่จะ cancel ตัว service หลังจากที่contract หมดอายุแล้วไหมดังนั้นลักษณะคำถามคุณจะเห็นว่ามันแตกต่างกันอันแรกไม่ได้ specific ว่ามันเป็นกลุ่มไหนตัวนั้นเรียก supervise unsupervised นะคะแต่ถ้าสมมุติว่ากำหนดไว้ว่าเป็นกลุ่มนี้ก็จะเป็น supervised นะคะ the books that I bring detail นะคะก็คือเขาบอกว่า much more useful result ก็คือส่วนใหญ่แล้วก็อยากจะได้เป็นในลักษณะที่เป็น data ที่มัน supervise มากกว่านะคะfor the common tasks that I mentioned before, so this one, since classification mostly they need supervised method, and also the regressions, causal modeling, similarity matching, and rank prediction and data reduction. Most of the things they require the supervised methods. On the other hand, for the unsupervised method, they use similarity matching. It can be used unsupervised. The data reduction, also the clustering, the co-occurrence and profiling. Most of them require the unsupervised method. For the next one, for the supervised data mining, they have subclass. It means like a detail, the subclasses. For the classification, they need categorical target. What does it mean for the categorical? Have you learned about the categorical data analysis? No, I think you're not. Categorical means if I remind you for a statistical data type, as you mentioned last week, that they have a nominal scales, ordinal scales, and the racial scales, and another one interval scales. The categorical data type is two types. is nominal and ordinal scales. You can divide it into the group by using name or using the like satisfaction of the customer like ดีมากยอดเยี่ยมน้อยสุดมากสุดแบ่งเป็นกลุ่มโดยใช้ชื่อนะคะ for the classification often binary it doesn't mean that เพศชายเพศหญิง is binary เพศชายเพศหญิง but nowadays they have like another one right อื่นๆ so it's 3 groups so it doesn't matter so that's why I use often binary so before that is society is not that like open so you have just only เพศชาย and เพศหญิง right so that one is binary groups right 2 ways เพศชายเพศหญิง but nowadays is that more than that so เพศชายเพศหญิงอื่นๆหรือ educations ประถมมัธยม so more than binaries and also it includes the class probability estimation it means it's a they have you have to estimate the probability of the group and the regression so this one you have the numeric target so actually when you build the regression equations you have to estimate the y-hat right so that one will bring your result in numeric so อยู่ได้เป็นอะไรคำตอบเป็นตัวเลขถูกไหมคะถ้าอยู่ได้ถ้าเป็น regression ถูกไหม regression หนูได้มาก็คือเป็นอะไรก็คือเป็น y hat เท่ากับ b 0 บวก b 1 x 1ถูกไหมบวกด้วย epsilon ถูกไหมคะบวกด้วย e ดังนั้นหนูจะได้อะไรมา target ได้มาเป็นตัวเลขถูกไหมคะแต่ว่าถ้าเป็น classification หนูแค่แบ่งกลุ่มถูกไหมดังนั้น target ของหนูก็คือเป็นกลุ่มนะคะอันนี้ก็คือเป็นลักษณะของ subclass ของ supervised data mining นะคะอันนี้ก็ยกตัวอย่างนะก็คือ will this customer purchase service S1 if given incentive I1 ก็คือจะซื้อไหม service S1 เนี่ยถ้าคุณเป็นเคสของ customer incentive I1 ตัวนี้เป็น classification problems so you have binary targets that is customer either purchases or not purchasesก็คือถ้าแปลเป็นไทยอะค่ะคำถามก็คือ customer ที่ได้รับ service S1 เนี่ยขอโทษcustomer จะซื้อ service S1 ไหมถ้าเราให้ incentive I1 ไปดังนั้นคำตอบของ customer คือซื้อกับไม่ซื้อดังนั้นลักษณะแบบนี้ก็จะเป็น classification problems ในทางตรงกันข้ามไม่ใช่ตรงกันข้ามในทางกลับกันค่ะก็คือจะเป็น which service package S1 S2 or none will customer likely purchase if given incentive I1 เขาถามว่าอะไรก็คือแพ็กเกจไหนก็คือ S1 หรือ S2 หรือว่าไม่ซื้อเลยที่customer จะซื้อก็คืออันนี้ก็เป็น classification problems but they have 3 values target the first one is will purchase but this one is which package so will purchase is purchase or not purchase but this one is which package we have three ways like S1, S2, and no package. And the third one, how much will this customer use the service? This one is regressions problem because you have to, how much? So how much? So it means you have to answer in numerics way. So this one is regression problems. Your target is going to be the numerics. And the target variables may be amounts of usage per customer. But you can find like many advantages of the data mining, but they have some pitfall. Pitfalls is means disadvantage. The disadvantage in the data mining setup, the first one is bad sample, and the second one, bad filter. It means the attribute that you build in the model is not good. So the first one is bad sample. Yeah, in statistical also, if you have bad sample, you will get bad results anyway. But also in data mining and also in data science, if you get a bad sample, yeah, bad filter is also the bad result. Okay, this one is data mining process. This one is called CRISP. The name is the Cross Industry Standard Process for Data Mining. Is CRISP. I always call CRISP, DM. You can see at the graph that they have many steps that you have to do. So the first one, this is the business understanding. I already mentioned that even though you can analyze the data, but sometimes if you want to get the good result and good presentation, you have to know about the business thing, the thing that you have to solve it. So it means you have to understand the business first. I will not tell you that you have to understand all the things about the business, but you have to know the problem that you gonna solve, right? The second one, from the business understanding, and then you have to understand your data. The second one, you understand the business, and then you go to the understand the data. And then after that, you go to the data preparations. And then after that, you go to the modeling. And then you have to go to the evaluations and then you deployment. Deployment, it means การนำไปใช้ การนำไปใช้ การปรับใช้ So this one, you can see that it's some kind of circle, but it's not the linear way. That if you fail in the second step, you have to go back to the first one. It's not the linear way. So this one is circle. Maybe this one fail, you may go to the data preparations. Maybe the evaluation fails, you go to the modeling. So you don't have to go like you fail in the step 5 and you have to go back from the first one. So this one is just a circle. As I mentioned, the first one, business understanding, is very vital. Vital, it means crucial, important. Another one maybe you can use in your research for the first year. Maybe you have to write down in English. So it's vital. Especially for a person you're gonna go training at True. Yep, you have to write down in English anyway. So this one vital, crucial, important. Oh, what subject I teach anyway? Okay, so this one you have the problem that you're gonna solve. Especially for the business understanding is most of the things is a creativity play for the large role. It means very important. So the first step, understanding your business, you have to think about the questions that what exactly do you want to do and how you're gonna do it, and which part, what part that the data can be modeled. So that one is a business understanding. For more detail, I recommend you to read because a lot of examples. Okay, so this one, business analytics define. It means how. It means กำหนดวิธีการทางธุรกิจนะคะ the first one, what makes decision making difficult and challenging? ความไม่แน่นอน You can see that business depends on uncertainty. If your parents doing the business, so the COVID-19 is the good example of uncertainty. So actually, they point out that if we know how much the demand will be for our product, we could do a much better job of planning. It means ถ้าสมมติว่าเขารู้ว่ามันจะมีความต้องการสินค้าเท่าไหร่เราก็จะรู้ทันทีเลยว่าเราจะ planning ยังไงสินค้าเราจะผลิตเมื่อไหร่ผลิตยังพูดผลิตเลยแล้วก็ the second example นะคะ if we know how stock will perform investing would be a lot easier อันนี้เห็นภาพชัดเนาะก็คือถ้าเรารู้ว่าหุ้นในแต่ละวันมันเป็นเท่าไหร่เราก็คงจะลงทุนได้ง่ายขึ้นดังนั้น business ส่วนใหญ่ based on อะไร based on ความไม่แน่นอนนะคะ based on ความไม่แน่นอน Another factor ก็คือแล้วเราจะวัดผลยังไงก็คือเป็น It's difficult that we cannot evaluate them all เราไม่สามารถที่จะประเมินค่ามันได้ทั้งหมดอันนี้ก็คือเป็นสาเหตุที่สำคัญว่าทำไมเราจะต้อง understanding business ซะก่อนเพราะ1มันมีความไม่แน่นอน2ก็คือมันมีความที่มันไม่สามารถที่จะประเมินค่าได้ The last question, what is business analytics? It's a process ค่ะ the process of transforming the data that you have into the insight of making decision problems ก็คือว่าง่ายๆก็คือเป็น process อันนึงที่จะแปลงจากข้อมูลที่คุณมีเนี่ยค่ะเพื่อให้ได้ข้อมูลที่แบบที่คุณต้องการที่แบบว่า deep insight แล้วคุณก็นำมา decision making อันนี้ก็คือ step แรก business analytic define นะคะ business understanding เพราะอะไรทำไมต้องเข้าใจแล้วทำไมมันถึงต้องเรียนรู้ว่า business มันเป็นรูปแบบไหน The second one is data understanding. I already mentioned you guys already that if you want to solve the data, you have to understand your data first. What kind of data you use? Is it good is it good enough data that gonna be used in your problems? So I point out that it is important to understand the strength ก็คือจุดแข็ง and limitations of your data and your limit ของ data นะคะ because the historical data are collected for purpose unrelated to the current business problem ก็คือหมายถึงว่าโดยส่วนใหญ่แล้วข้อมูลที่เราเก็บมาเนี่ยค่ะไม่ค่อยตอบโจทย์กับ problem ที่เราทำอยู่ดังนั้นการที่เราใช้ historical data สักอย่างเดียวมันอาจจะไม่ส่งผลดีก็ได้ดังนั้นเราต้องเข้าใจตัว data เราด้วยว่า data เรามันมีลิมิตอะไรไหมหรือว่ามีจุดแข็งจุดด้อยอะไรหรือเปล่าในของ data อันนี้ก็คือเราต้องทำความเข้าใจ data ซะก่อนas I mentioned in the very first hours, that the data preparations means the step that you have to do is if your data is dirty, just clean it. If it cannot be used, just transform it. If it can be combined, you have to integrate it. So this one is the step of the data preparations. The things that you have to beware of leaks. What kind of leaks? What is leaks? Leaks is a situation where the variables corrected in the historical data gives information on the target variables.ดูตัวอย่างง่ายๆนะคะอันนี้ตัวอย่างตรงข้อลองสุดท้ายอะค่ะเขาบอกว่าเมื่อพยากรณ์particular point in time เป็นเว็บไซต์ที่เราไปวิสิตเนี่ยค่ะแล้วก็ตัวที่เราต้องการที่เป็น variables ก็คือ total number of web page visited in the sessions สิ่งที่เราต้องการเป็นจำนวนคนที่จำนวนคลิกที่ไปวิสิตตัวเว็บเพจเนี่ย in the session. However, the total number of web page visited would not be known until after the session was over. ก็คือเราจะไม่รู้เลยไอตัว total number เนี่ยค่ะจนกว่า session มันจบถูกไหมเพราะว่าตัว total number ที่เราคลิกไปสมมติเราตั้ง session ไว้1 ชั่วโมงแล้วเราต้องการพยากรณ์ว่า total number เนี่ยมันเป็นเท่าไหร่ของ session แต่ไปมาคือเราไม่รู้จำนวนที่เราจะไปใช้ได้เลยจนกว่าที่ session มัน over ถูกนะคะดังนั้นมันก็เลยกลายเป็นว่าลักษณะตัวอย่างแบบนี้มันจะเป็นลักษณะที่เรียกว่า leaks ก็คือว่าง่ายคือตัวที่เราต้องการทราบต้องการพยากรณ์ไม่รู้เลยจนกว่าว่าไอตัวข้อมูลที่คุณมีอ่ะมันจะสิ้นสุดลง And the next step is a modeling. So actually I divide into 3 groups. The first one is graphical models. The second one is the algebraic models and spreadsheet models. You can imagine that the graphical model is look like graph. The algebraic models is look like samakan equations. And the spreadsheet, it means in the table on the Excel. So you can see that this one is that the thing that I divide is into 3 groups. The first one, the graphical model, I could say that is the least quantitative type of the model. You can see that you cannot solve any kind of problem. You know, it's just like this one is a payoff, this one is demand, and this one is supply. But no numbers, how you gonna solve the problem? So this one, so it would say just show this kind of thing. The graphical model just shows the important elements of the problem and how they related. ก็แค่เป็นการโชว์ว่าอะไรบ้างที่สำคัญกับตัวโมเดลนี้แล้วมัน relate กันยังไงไม่ง่ายมันมีความสัมพันธ์กันยังไงนะคะอันนี้ก็คืออย่างแรกอย่างที่สอง algebraic models you can see that is some kinds of equations and inequalities ก็คือเป็นสมการที่เป็นเครื่องหมายเท่ากับหรือว่าเป็นเครื่องหมายมากกว่าเท่ากับก็ได้เหมือนกันนะคะก็จะเป็นset of relationships in the very precise way ก็คือตั้งโจทย์มาตั้งสมการมามี problem มาแล้วคุณก็ตั้งโจทย์เป็นสมการอาจจะเป็นสมการที่เป็นเครื่องหมายเท่ากับที่เรียกว่า equations หรือ equally หรือว่าจะเป็นเครื่องหมายที่ไม่ใช่เครื่องหมายเท่ากับก็คือ inequalities ก็ได้นะคะอันนั้นคุณจะเห็นว่า what is the disadvantage of this kind of models you can see that this kind of models who gonna solve this one the person who has very background of mathematicals if not who gonna solve it no if I study in linguistics, how can I solve it? No. Or if I study in marketing, no knowledge about the mathematics, how can I solve it? So it's good, it's precise, but it cannot be used for everybody. So this one is algebraic models. And the last one is a spreadsheet modeling is alternative of the algebraic model is related to the spreadsheet with the cell formulas. So it means that it shows in Excels. The good things of the spreadsheet modeling, if you enter the formula incorrectly, it's often immediately obvious. It shows that it's wrong immediately. If you ไม่งั้นคุณใส่สูตรไปผิดโชว์ผลออกมาคุณเห็นอยู่แล้วว่ามันผิดแน่ๆนะคะ So this one. So actually you may familiar with this kind of thing, the spreadsheet modelings. So you may use the thing that you already learned, some product, some if, or goal seek, or scenario table, scenario manager, data table. You can be used. You can use some kind of things like that. But another one that I live it, and I'm gonna teach you guys in the optimization is called Solver. That one is gonna be the last one in Excel that you will learn. So this kind of thing is spreadsheet modeling. So actually for the modeling, they have step also. So the first one, the first step is every process will start with this thing, define the problem or define the goal, define the objective. And then the second one is collect and summarize data, make it descriptive. And then after that, you develop the model. It means you find the model. And the fourth one is verify the model. Verify ก็คือว่าง่ายๆตรวจสอบความถูกต้องของโมเดลนั่นเองค่ะ And the next one, select one or more suitable decision and present the result. And the last one is implement and update over time. It means that maybe your model is just like maybe you have that data for 10 years, but for the next year, you have one more year data. So it means you have to implement more data, more model, and update is because you have one more year data. So you have to update the model. The next one is evaluation. So it's similar to the verify the model. So you have to have the evaluation models by like, is it give you like correct the result or not? This one is evaluations. Actually, it's called, sometimes some books it's called sensitivity analysis. Maybe you can use the accuracy to use for the evaluate the model, or you can use the maybe for like time. For example, if you create something algorithm to solve step 1 to 5, and you assume that your algorithm may be faster than the last one or the previous one. So the thing that can be evaluate your algorithm is time, for example. It depends on the problem that you're gonna solve. So this one is evaluations. And deployment, it means you bring it to use. Yep. So if I go to the circle, you can see that the deployment, it is the last one, the last step. And if it cannot go back, you see, it not come back to evaluate, it not go back to the business understanding. So this one, the last step, is bring it to use. Okay. So for the Next one, the categorical of data analytical methods and models are divided into 3 parts. The first one is descriptive analysis. Yes, you may know, make it like descriptive statistic, data visualization, data dashboard. So that one is descriptive. And it can be shown as a table, chart, or summaries. Yep. And the second one, the predictive model. For example, linear regression, time series analysis, simulations. Predictive analytic, it means the thing that you're gonna predict. You have to get the predictive model. So what kind of equations or model that you can predict is regressions. You have what? The linear regression. You have simple linear regression, multiple linear regressions, logistic regressions, whatever. Many things about the regressions, many models. But that one gonna be used in predictive model. And time series analysis, for example, that you have to predict the stock, the price of stock, the stock price. Yeah, that one is time series analysis. Or simulations, simulation, if you play in Thai, is a การจำลอง. Actually, you cannot get the data from the historical data. You can simulate the data and build or construct the model. That one is predictive analytic. And the last one is prescriptive analytic. This one is some kind of optimizations or like decision making under uncertainty. Most of the thing about the prescriptive analytics is you have to have the constraint. Constraint is ข้อจำกัด เงื่อนไข. Yeah, when you build the optimization, you have to have เงื่อนไข, right? Yeah. So that one is prescriptive analytics. Yep. Most of the thing is done, but actually I have many examples. For example, you can see on the document that you have the business analytics in practice in the sheet. I give you many examples about many fields. For example, financial analytics, human resources, marketing, supply chain, healthcare, government and non-profit, sports, web. I give you many examples. Just go back and read. So this one is in total of the chapter 4. Oh, I'm so tired. For the next week,